Hello, Pippadot, Lori, Steph. Good evening, everyone. Hope it's not too loud. I tried to balance out the sound from the last time. I think we found the technical issue. It's with the mixing board. Sounds good to Kitty Q. Steph, it's too low. Too low for Lori, and happy Gnosis. Good evening, sweetheart. How are you doing? Long time no see. I hope you are doing well. Inner Peas, welcome. The issue, you can't see it, but there's a giant mixing board that all the cameras and all the microphones and stuff go through, and we had one of them set down so it's brighter on this end and darker on that end because it helps my eyes because I'm on the computer so much. I have it on dark theme, so when I'm in here, I want the lights darker on that end because I'm looking in that direction. But it turns out that we had it turned down too low, and it was affecting the actual audio as well. Meep, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Lisa C and Purple, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope we are all having a great weekend. Rycart, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Hello, everyone. Uh, Side note, though, and I've said this before, and you really need to do the due diligence and check for yourself. Um, YouTube is unsubscribing people from channels, and if you're not careful, maybe you thought you were a channel member, you may not be a channel member of that a paid channel member of that channel anymore. I found this out myself last night when I jumped onto Duty Ron's live stream, and if I saw that I was no longer a channel member, and I'm like, what the hell, is going on there? And I checked, and it looked like the payment went through from Patreon, but it turns out that YouTube had unsubscribed me from Duty Ron. And well, since you're not a subscriber, you can't be a channel member. So it happens. You need to check your actual settings and check to see if those channels that you want to be subscribed to, you're actually subscribed to. I've heard of it from other people before. I've seen it myself, and I just saw it again yesterday. So, and only 18% of all the people who watch any of my content are subscribers. 18%. Of the 4.6 million views last year, 18% are actual subscribers. Maybe I'm not worth subscribing to. I don't know. But still worth checking. Yes, YouTube is doing some weird things. They do. They find out the hard way. It's like I'm sitting there and I'm talking to people and I'm like, why is my name not green? It should be green on there. And it should say that I've been a subscriber and a channel member to Deuterons for, what, 2.5 years, something like that. And it says that I'm not a channel member, nor am I even subscribed. And I'm like, well, I gotta fix that. But Yeti is unsubscribing us. Yuti. I thought that said Yeti at first. I'm like, what? The cooler or my coffee cup? The Yeti coffee cup. Happy Gnosis is happy to be a sub. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I'm going to give it another half a minute here since I went off on a little tangent here. 30 seconds, and then we're going to get the trivia going. All the questions tonight are on serial killers. There's more than one, and you'll quickly catch on. There's two of this, two of this, two of this, and two of this. Each out of the 20, there are 10 different, killers. Okay, but to answer the question, I'm feeling better. I am nowhere near 100%. We all got the flu. My son, when I was in the house about a half hour ago, his temperature is still at 104. He's just laying there doing, nothing, barely anything at all. The little man has got no energy. Wife is sick, daughter is sick, mother-in-law is sick. We're all sick. And we're almost 100% sure that it was my son who brought it home from school. So, but this happens. They're little vectors. And we're getting there, right, Cart? So far, I'm doing the best out of everybody. I've been running errands for everybody. But let's get the trivia up and going here, ladies and gentlemen. All right. This is episode 288 tonight of Trivia Night. Basic rules and outlines for it. We are here to only have fun. No one is better at this game than anyone else. Use a search engine, phone a friend, lifeline, or not only acceptable, but encouraged. Hateful or degrading remarks towards another person playing will get you removed, and I do mean that. I've now banned 5 people from live streaming, being able to see my content or comment in any fashion. You get enough of those, YouTube and Google will block your account permanently from being able to access their stuff. All the 20 questions are picked by me, the host. All the questions and content are the property of me and my studio, Delight Studios, except for the photos which belong to Getty Imaging. These questions are not exploitive of the victims or the families and are for educational purposes only. First question of 20 for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's all groovy. Acid is flowing. Zeppelin is playing on the hi-fi. What were the members of the Charles Manson group called? Were they A, the Manson Clan? Good evening, Lori. Welcome to tonight's trivia. You're just in time for question number 1. The Manson Clan. B, the Friends of Family. C, the Manson family. Or D, the Moon Beamers. What were the members of the Charles Manson group called? Let's see. A lot to see so far. And if I missed anyone and didn't say hello to you, like you, Gianna Marie, I am truly sorry and didn't mean to miss you. And welcome to tonight's trivia, Gianna Marie. I hope you had a pleasant weekend. And thank you for joining us tonight for trivia. Question number 1 is currently on the screen. Question number 1, everyone's going with C, the Manson family. Well, hi, Lori. Back to you. Question number 1, the correct answer is C as in cat, the Manson family. You may be wondering, are any members of the Manson clan, were they actually called Moonbeamers or the Manson clan or friends of the family? The answer is no. There were members who were hangers on who were called Moonbeamers. These are the people that Manson actually bought LSD from, and their clan, their family actually bought LSD from. They called them Moonbeamers in the Haight Ashbury district and other places within the state where they got marijuana and LSD. But they called them Moonbeamers. The Manson clan, no. And friends of the family, no. But Moonbeamers is something that does get talked about when it comes to the Manson clan, the Manson family, I mean. All right, question number 2. What was the original sentence handed down to Charles Manson for the Tate murders? Was it A, 25 years without parole? B, 25 years to life with parole after 20? C, triple life sentence? Or D, the death penalty? There you go, Meep. 1 down, 19 more to go. Good luck. We got some D's and some C's, and Lori's going with A. What was the original sentence handed down to Charles Manson for the Tate murders? Happy Gnosis is going with death sentence was commuted. Oops. I'm not in my little window. I just noticed that. Oh no. Where's Will? Put Will in his little window. Gotta put Will in his little window. There I am. Hello, everyone, from Will's little window. Scratch C. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Question number 2. The correct answer is D as in dog, the death penalty. As Happy Gnosis pointed out, death sentence was commuted. He was actually sentenced to die in prison by the electric chair, and they commuted it to life in prison without the possibility of parole, but then reduced it later on, and they said he could actually be released. But the funny part is no one in the United States, when it comes to the governors of all the states, nobody would take him if he was to be released on parole. So Manson stayed in prison the rest of his life, where he would eventually die. All right, next question, number 3. Nowhere to hide, the killer seemed to kill at random. What city in Kansas City did Dennis Rader hunt and kill in? Was it A, Kansas City, B, Dodge City, C, Topeka City, or D, Wichita City? Nowhere to hide. The killer seemed to kill at random. What city in Kansas City did Dennis Rader hunt and kill in? I was reading that, scrolling up. I heard that when Charles was in his deathbed, he was scared of death, that he was praying to God to help him. Maybe. I know when it comes to some of the women who helped Charles Manson, even to the end, when some of them did get paroled eventually, but others never did. But they refused to take full responsibility for what they did. All they would admit to, and they were denied parole several times, but they did admit to being part of the actual murder, but not their actual part within the actual murders. I feel like a sheep just following a herd tonight, but it's working. There you go. Sometimes that's what you have to do, Steph. You got to follow the odds. Well, is there any one of those that you can, subtract? Well, Where did Dennis Rader hunt and kill? Well, is any of those? All of those are real cities, so can't use the scratch one, pick one. Got to go that way sometimes. That's what I do. Question number 3. The correct answer is D as in dog. Wichita City. Wichita, Kansas. Wichita. All right. Question number 4. Would you like to play a game? This killer loved to play games with police. How did Dennis Rader sign his letters to police and the media? Was it A, guilty yours, BTK, B, shamefully McLoving it, BTK, or C, yours truly guilty, BTK, or D, in guild, BTK? How did Dennis Rader sign his letters to law enforcement and to the media? Lori Sutton is going with A for question number 4. Gianna Marie, A as well. Lori, A. In case you're wondering, this picture is of the actual book written about Dennis Rader, but I forgot to write down the lady's name, person who I think it was a lady who wrote this actual book on Dennis Rader. This is the cover of one of the books on Dennis. C? Question mark, question mark, question mark. I have no clue. We stumped Kitty Q. Wow, that's a new one. Rycart A. Meep is going with D. Question number 4. Purple's going with A. He's a fine figure of a man. Well, even round is a figure. Question number 4. The correct answer is C as in cat. Yours truly guilty, BTK, is how he signed his letters to the media and to police. When he contacted the media and police, he was looking for attention and admitted to the crimes that he actually committed. In the letters, he was toying with them. It was all a game to him at one point. All right, question number 5. How was David Berkowitz, the son of Sam, finally caught? How was David Berkowitz, the son of Sam, finally caught? A, his mother turned him in. B, a traffic ticket. C, his ex-girlfriend ratted him out. Or D, Chad Daybell turned him in. How was David Berkowitz, the son of Sam, finally caught? John Dawson is what it says online, who wrote the book. Thank you, Kitty Q. I knew that was the cover of one of the books written about Dennis Rader, but I forgot to write down who wrote the book. Normally, I write down little side notes for the questions when I use stuff like that, but I just totally forgot about that one. How was David Berkowitz caught? Diagnosis, Steve Griffin. Mother, says Lisa. Wait, what was 4? Answer, LO. I was Googling. Question number 4. The correct answer, Kitty Q, was C as in cat. C as in cat. 1 second here, and after I give the answer to question 5, I will go back happily to question number 4 so you can see which one that was. Question number 5. The correct answer is B as in boy. A traffic ticket is how David Berkowitz was finally caught. He was stopped for a traffic infraction. Question number 4. The correct answer is C as in cat. Yours truly, guilty, BTK, is how he signed all of his letters. Question number 6. According to property reports for the day David Berkowitz was arrested, how much cash did he have on him at the time? Was it A, $58.19, B, $144,000, C, $21.10, or D, $4? How much cash did David Berkowitz have on him at the time of his arrest? Oh, there's nothing to be sorry about, Kitty Q. We all have to have those questions, where we need to go back and refresh. What was the answer to that one? I've got them here. I'm more than happy to do it. How much cash, according to the property report, did David Berkowitz have on him at the time of his arrest? Question number 6 of 20. Steph D, Lori D, we got Meep at C, Reichardt C, Gianna Marie C. Purple's going with D, $4, along with Steph and Lori. How much cash did he have on him at the time of his arrest, according to David Berkowitz's property report? In case you're wondering, a little side note on this one, if you would like to see the property report for David Berkowitz, you can go see it in Los Angeles, California. It is part of the exhibit at the Crime Museum. The answer to question number 6 is D as in dog. $4 is all he had on him. 4 $1 bills were in his wallet at the time of his arrest. $4. Alrighty, going on to question number 7. According to the corner grocery owner, Jeffrey Dahmer often came in to buy what item 3 times a week? Was it A, cigarettes, B, beer, C, salt and pepper and garlic powder, or D, red wine? According to the corner grocery owner, Jeffrey Dahmer often came in to buy what item 3 times a week? Ooh, it's got C for Lori. Happy Nose says A. Meet Kitty Q, and Lori going with B, along with Reichardt going with B. Gianna Marie going with B as well. Steph's going with A, cigarettes. He loved Budweiser. I can't drink Budweiser. Gives me a headache. Can't drink Bud Light either. There's something, I don't know what it is in it. That's just me, though. I'm sure that, I'm unique in that aspect. Purple's going with B as well. Stuff A. Jeffrey Dahmer, 3 times a week, he went into the corner grocery and purchased what? Remember, Old Milwaukee beer? Yes. Meep. Tell you a funny story after this question. Well, it's kind of funny, at least it is to me, about Old Milwaukee. Don't people buy beer and cigarettes at the same time? Some people do, Steph. Some people do. All right. Question number 7. The correct answer is B as in boy. B as in boy. Beer. He bought beer 3 times a week, and he didn't buy large quantities of it at each time he came in. He would buy like a 6-pack of beer, but he came in 3 times a week and bought beer. All right, tell you a funny story, me, about Old Milwaukee beer. Now, I once met a guy who was what they called a car pilot. So when they move things on the road, they have a car that is in the front and has a sign that says oversized load. And then they have a car in the back that has the same thing. When they're moving big machinery, construction equipment, cranes and stuff like that on the roadway. I met a guy who used to be not the front car, but he used to drive the car that followed the actual equipment that had a giant sign on top of it that said, heavy equipment, wide load, when they were moving it down the road. And this man used to have a cooler on his front seat of his car, and it was filled with nothing but Old Milwaukee beer. He would drink 24 cans of beer just in each and every event where they had to move cars, equipment from one place to another. The man was a highly functioning alcoholic. And after he finally, stopped working, when he was in the hospital, they actually brought in alcohol for him because he was going into DTs. They would subscribe him actual liquid alcohol for him to drink in the hospital. But they actually brought beer in for him because he could not function without going into DTs. Old Milwaukee beer. 24 of them on each and every trip. And I'm like, my God, this guy's around heavy equipment all day long, following, heavy equipment on the freeway and side roads, as a tail car. And this man was blitzed out of his damn mind every time, he was out there. That's the only thing I've never drank Old Milwaukee, but it kind of reminded me of that story. All right, question number 8. Cheer up, Gene. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? What college did Jeffrey Dahmer flunk out of? Was it A, Ohio State University, B, Wisconsin State University, C, UCLA, California, or D, NYU Film School? Cheer up, Gene. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? What college did Jeffrey Dahmer flunk out of? Question number 8 of 20. D, question mark, Gianna Marie, B, Steph, B, Purple, A, Happy B, Lori is going with A, and Meep is going with B. Lori, A, actually, and Meep, B. What college did Jeffrey Dahmer flunk out of? Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? What college did Jeffrey Dahmer flunk out of? Ladies and gentlemen, question number 8. My peeps, Good evening and welcome to tonight's trivia, my peeps and Louise. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Wasn't the little when he lived in Ohio? Wasn't he little? Hmm. The Detroit Lions won. Well, good for the Detroit Lions. Good evening. All right. Question number 8. The correct answer is A as in apple. He flunked out of Ohio State University. How bad of did he flunk out of Ohio State University? In the time that he was there at Ohio State University, he was put on academic probation 3 separate times. And finally, they said, maybe you should just go home and reconsider if you want to go to college at all. He flunked out of college. I know complete idiots who go to college and find a way to eventually get through it. But not Jeffrey. Oh, no, no, no. So he went home and I eventually started making chocolate. Chocolatier, I guess, or whatever you call him. Flunky. All right. Question number 9. What did John Wayne Gacy love to dress up as that not only gave him pleasure, but have him at a sexual release? This is going from his own statements when he was in prison talking to 60 Minutes. Was it A police officer, B, a fireman, C, a clown, or D, a KFC owner? What did John Wayne Gacy love to dress up as that not only gave others pleasure, but have him a sexual release? Pippadot is back. Good evening, Pippadot. My card, Gianna, purple, everybody's going with C. Doing great. Even if I get none right, we are learning to bonus. Yes. Meep is gross. C. Kitaku, C. Lisa, B. Now I'm craving KFC. What did he dress up as that gave others pleasure and gave him a sexual release? Question number 9. This is from his own statement to 60 Minutes, the news television show. And Pumpkin. Did I miss someone? Oh, yep. There we go. Pumpkin. Good evening. And welcome to tonight's trivia. Pumpkin. I've never heard a pumpkin bark. That would be interesting. Well, you have a clown picture. Yes, I do. And that clown picture, Meep, is of John Wayne Gacy himself. His alter ego was Pogo the Clown. He went by other names as well for his clown outfit in his alter ego. But the correct answer to question C is question 9 is C as in cat, a clown. He loved to dress up like a clown and go to birthday parties, children's hospitals, social events at the Loyal Order of the Moose Lodge, where he was a different name than Pogo, but he mainly dressed up and went out as Pogo the Clown. And Reichardt, yes, people did know him as the killer clown. But John Wayne Gacy said that he got a sexual release from dressing up as Pogo the Clown. Nasty Pogo. Right, Pippa Dot? All right. Question number 10. Goodbye to you, my trusted friend. We've known each other since we were 9 or 10. How many siblings did John Wayne Gacy have? I'm sorry that the word is over the line there, but I couldn't get it in there any other way with the question mark. Is it A, 4, B, 2, C, 3, or D, 1? How many siblings did John Wayne Gacy have? Question number 10 of 20. He could have put a ton of chicken in that clown suit. Lori, you're going with 3. Rockhard D, Kitty Coo C. Then we got a whole bunch of Lori, Steph, Happy Noses, Gianna Marie, Pippinot. Oh, Pippinot's going with D, but the rest of them are going with C. Pippinot and my peeps are going with D. Purple B. I'm guessing I don't have my notebook handy. How many siblings did John Wayne Gacy have? Well, we know he has to have at least one because, there are quite a few videos and part of the documentary. She actually spoke about John in the documentary. I'm not talking about the YouTube videos that have been made about him or these tabloid, videos or movies, if you ever want to call them. But he has at least one because she was in that actual video or movie, whatever you want to call it. But question number 10, the correct answer is B as in boy. He had 2 sisters. 2 sisters. John Wayne Gacy had 2. The oldest one never spoke about John. She changed her name and she refuses to admit that she was ever related to John Wayne Gacy. The second sister, youngest and closest in age to John, actually was in the documentary. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have now finished 10 questions. It is now the time when we normally take our 6-minute break. So do whatever you need to do for the next 6 minutes. Use the facilities, get something to drink, something to snack on. Go, light up a bowl, whatever you want. I don't care what you do for the next 6 minutes. It's your business. You do you. Just watch out for mountain lions. They are sneaky. To be fair, I refuse to admit to being related to my brother, says Happy Noses. I have 4 sisters. And, well, I had 4 sisters. I only have 3 that are alive. So it's bedtime. Are you taking off, Happy Gnosis? I hope you're doing well, sweetheart. If you're taking off. It's been great to see you as well. Meep is having some popcorn, it looks like. I'll be back. Daydream believer and homecoming. I got that song in my head. Got to keep that in front of me, otherwise I'll lose track of the time again. Four minutes left. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Do 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 do. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Here's another one by Miss America Pie. Bye bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. I hear they were drinking whiskey and rye. Three minutes left. I think after the live stream tonight, instead of what I normally listen to, I might put on some Steppenwolf. Listen to some Steppenwolf tonight. Haha. I just discovered I have 6 more baby parakeets. Wow. Don something did. Don McLean. Don McLean did American Pie. McLean or McLean? Something like that. McLean. I'm back, says Rockhard. Can't remember. It's like McLean or McLean or something like that. 2 minutes left. But I for some reason in my head all day long, and normally I listen to either, well, I've been going back and forth between 2 different albums. Been listening to a lot of Jethro Tull the last a week or so. But I think I'm going to listen to some Steppenwolf tonight. That's just in my head. For some reason today, I've just been in that mood to listen to Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf on the hi-fi. Got quite a few of the Steppenwolf's albums. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have less than 1 minute left of the break, and then we're back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Question number 11. What vehicle was Ted Bundy driving on the day he abducted and killed Kimberly Leach? Was it A VW Bug, B, a Chevy truck, C, a Chevy van, or D, a Ford Pinto? What vehicle was Ted Bundy driving on the day he abducted and killed Kimberly Leach? The parakeets are very cute. I bet they are too. Susan Weaver, good evening and welcome to tonight's trivia, Susan. And Carol, good evening to you as well. Welcome to tonight's trivia. What vehicle was Ted Bundy driving the day he abducted Kimberly Leach? The youngest victim and the last victim. Chevy van. Now there's a song to get stuck in your head. My peeps is going with A. What vehicle was Ted Bundy driving on the day he abducted and killed Kimberly Leach? Question 11 of 20. Lisa C is going with C. All right, question 11. The correct answer is it's not an AMC Kremlin. Funny, right, Corey? But the correct answer is C as in cat. He was driving a white Chevy van the day he abducted and killed Kimberly Leach. A white Chevy van. I've owned an AMC before, and talk about a hodgepodge of parts. There are parts from Chevy, there are parts from Ford, there are parts from Pontiac, there are parts from AMC themselves, and that was just the motors. The motor was made of anything and everything. They just threw it all in. Hell, we made a car. Where was this bug? The bug was long gone by that time, Pippadot. He was now using a van. And he wasn't living in it down by the river either. Last time a song got stuck in my head, I ended up naming my new doggy Boo. Were you sitting on the dock of the bay? My peeps? All right, question number 12. Burn, Teddy, burn. What day was Ted Bundy put to death in the electric chair in Florida? Was it A, January 24th, 1989, B, January 2nd, 1988, or C, June 21st, 1988, or D, October 31st, 1984? His bug was in his friend's ex-boyfriend's garage for a bunch of years. Me and you and a dog named Boo. Tim actually had a black lab when I first met him that sadly has passed away since then, but his dog was named Boo. Tim is my best friend. But he had a black lab that dog's name was Boo. He bought it at an auction. Stats going with A, Gianna's going with A, Meat's going with A. Question number 12 of 20. Lisa, question mark? I don't know. It could be any of them. If you want to copy off of someone, I would copy off of Kitty Q. Just saying. I'm pretty sure Kitty Q knows the answer to this one. Purple's going with A. Question number 12. Burn, Teddy, burn. What day was Ted Bundy put to death in the electric chair in Florida? Question number 12. The correct Miss K is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Miss K. It's all over my shirt, LOL. That is true. All right, question 12. The correct answer is, in fact, A as in apple. January 24th, 1989. He was a cop and bought it at a police auction. All righty, question number 13. Lampshades, coats, knife handles, book covers, chairs were all decorated with human flesh by who? Was it A, Ted Bundy, B, John Wayne Gacy, C, John List, or D, Ed Gein? Lampshades, coats, knife handles, book covers, chairs were all covered with human flesh by who? I hope Miss K had a terrific weekend. I'm glad you could be here with us, Miss K. D. Lori's going with C. Pippa Steph F are going with D. Anna Marie D. Red cart D with a skull. And purple a D as well. Wonder when his mother finally come to terms with her son being a monster. He kept a lot of it like tucked away in what he was doing when his mother was alive, but afterwards, yeah, there was no hiding it. And everybody in this community thought that he was a sick, twisted individual before they even knew what he was really up to. Question number 13. Lampshades, coats, knife handles, book covers, chairs were all decorated with human flesh by who? The correct answer to question 13 is D as in dog, Ed Gein. Charming. Yeah, right? He was a charming individual. Just a quiet little man who, loved to farm. Question number. Did you know the NCAVS is a component of the FBI's Critical Incident Response Group, the CIRG, located at the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia? The primary mission of the NCAVC is to provide behavioral-based operational support to federal, state, and local law enforcement and international law enforcement agencies involved in the investigation of unusual or repetitive violent crimes, communicated threats, terrorism, and other matters of interest to law enforcement. That is two different groups that you've probably never even heard of. The NCAVC, they're all FBI agents, but they also are part of the CIRG, the Critical Incident Response Group. Did you know? Question number 14. Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs was based on 6 different serial killers besides Ed Gein. Who else from this list was he based on? We are looking for who was Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs based on. Was it A, Jerry Bruno and Gary Heidnik? B, Ed Kemper and Gary Ridgway? C, John Wayne Gacy and Kemper? Or D, Samuel Little and Jerry Bruno? Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs was based on 6 different serial killers besides Ed Gein. Who else from this list was he based on? I was listening to someone recall humor. B, Lori D, my peeps C. This is well layered out. How did you develop? How did you develop an approach here? And thanks, Lisa C. Each week, we do trivia. Lisa, it's normally on one individual. All of the questions that are on tonight's trivia are leftovers from previous nights. This is the 288th trivia night. So as you can see, I probably have a couple questions left over. And last week, I had help with the trivia. A viewer, subscriber, put together last week's trivia. And this week, I have these questions left over to use in this. Each week, I work on 3 separate trivia nights all at the same time as the questions come up. Doing a lot of research, documenting these crimes and the killers. I find a lot of questions that people don't know. Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs was based on 6 different serial killers. Besides Ed Gein, who else from this list was he based on? Question number 14 of 20. Purple is going with C. This one's a bit harder. Thinking of the years. They're throughout the entire history of serial killers. They are. All right, question number 14. The correct answer is A, as in apple. Jerry Brudeau and Gary Heidnik were also influenced for Buffalo Bills, the Silence of the Lambs character. Put the lotion on. Put the lotion on. Put it in the basket. Buffalo Bills are playing right now. They are, right, Cart? They are playing, Kansas City, I believe. All right, question number 15. Bonus Ed Gein question. What state did Ed Gein commit all of his crimes in? Was it A, California, B, New York, C, Wisconsin, or D, Ohio? Bonus Ed Gein question. What state did Ed Gein commit all of his crimes in? California, New York, Wisconsin, or Ohio? With 188, you should make a trivia board game and start selling them. Well, my peeps, I don't think that would be something I would be interested in doing. There are quite a few different trivia games and books out there, though. But thank you. Not all, of the all the trivia nights that I've done, my peeps. I mean, not all of them have been on serial killers or that. I originally started off doing that, and then I transitioned into I did some music and movie, crimes that took place in the movie and music industry. So there were some of those, and then I went back to crime trivia because that's basically what my channel is about. When I did the music and in movies, even though people enjoyed all of those, a lot of people at the same time were like, hey, you know what? I didn't subscribe because I wanted to hear about the music and movie industry. I want to learn more about crime. So that's why I went back to it. Rock Hard's going with D, the Ohio State Buckeyes. My peeps is going with D. Gianna C. Purple C. Steph C. Miss K C. Fish question number 15 of 20. Ba, 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 ba. This is the only serial killer on the list who has 3 questions tonight. All of the others are 2, 2, 2. Yes, but no one has made a trivia board game. That would take an awful lot of work, my peeps. Gimme P, welcome to tonight's trivia. We are currently on question number 15 of 20. And welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had an excellent weekend. C seems to be a popular answer. Yes, we've never seen crime trivia board. Well, there's an idea for somebody to go out there and make your millions at. Just don't think that's going to be me. But I love the idea, though. All right, question number 15. The correct answer is, in fact, C, as in cat. Wisconsin. All of Ed Gein's crimes were committed in the state of Wisconsin. Question number 16. Albert Fish was a strange man for sure. He most certainly loved to kill and torment the victim and their families. Who did he love, though? Was it A, his pet goat, B, his pet chickens, C, his mother, who wasn't a pet, or D, his pet cow? Albert Fish was a strange man for sure. He most certainly loved to kill and torment the victim and their families. Who did he love, though? Albert Fish. I don't live far from where Gein killed. Ooh. In Wisconsin, Pippadot? I know where he killed that. Live near Plainfield, says Miss K. I was born and raised in Prescott, right across the border from the Twin Cities in Wisconsin. I got family all over the great state of Wisconsin and most of the state of Minnesota. Got family in La Crosse, Hastings, that's up and down, Milwaukee. This one has me stumped, says Pippadot. Albert Fish was a strange man for sure. He most certainly loved to kill and torment victims and their families. Who did he love? Got Guinea, D, A for Lori, Steph, C, A. Question number 16 of 20. Purple is going with C as well. What a lovely man. Albert Fish. If you're not familiar with the crimes of Albert Fish, I wouldn't read them in a dark room. I would turn on all the lights and make sure that there's someone else that you can bounce what you've just read about his crimes off of them. Share them with others, as I like to do. My sweet, sweet wife, she has heard me read about these people for so long. I'm like, hey, honey, guess what disgusting thing I just learned about Albert Fish? All right, question number 16. The correct answer is C as in cat. C as in cat. His mother was the only individual he said that he ever loved was his mother. He had a pet goat, he had pet chickens, and he had a pet cow that he never slaughtered any of them. He never slaughtered the chickens. He never slaughtered the goat. He never slaughtered the cow. He raised the chickens for their eggs, but he never killed any of them and ate them. He had other animals that he would buy and slaughter for their meat or for whatever he wanted from them. But he had a pet goat, chicken, and cow. All right, question. Oh, did you know killers in the U.S. history that have been known, 2,791 that have never been caught and studied? There have been 190 in the history of the United Kingdom. 19 of them have never been caught or studied. I'm going to change this to full screen here. There has been 194 serial killers in just the state of California history. Excuse me. Wrap your head around that again, ladies and gentlemen. There are 3,615 serial killers in U.S. history that have been known, that we have caught, that we have studied, that we have done research on. 2,791 additional serial killers that have never been caught or studied in just the United States. In the UK, the United Kingdom, there has been 190 in the history of the United Kingdom. An additional 19 have never been caught and studied. Now, just in the United States, in the state of California, and the history of the state and territory, 194 serial killers have been in just that state alone. We've got that one locked up. When it comes to serial killers, the United States has got that one wrapped up. We have a lot of them. Question number 17. What was Albert Fish famous for doing with his victims besides torturing them and, of course, killing them? Was it A, feeding them to his pigs, B, eating them himself, C, dressing them up as men, or D, putting their heads on stakes? I've always wondered why nobody has ever studied live mass killers. They have. Guinea, they have. The largest study of mass killers, the study has been conducted by the University of New Queensland. That is in Australia. They have the largest database of mass killers, mass spree killers, and they have the largest database when it comes to family annihilators. That is where one parent, mom or dad or whoever, head of household, kills everyone within their immediate family. They have been studying it for years, and they have the largest database on both types of killers. They don't produce a lot of work that is out there in the public. You can buy their a copy of their work that is bound in book form. They don't put a lot of the data online, but you can request certain copies of their results and their studies through the Library of Congress, and actually as a reference material. But the University of New Queensland in Australia, it's not even something that we do too much here. Now there is a study that is going on in the state of California with death row inmates that I know one lady along with another group, they are actually studying those who are on death row. Will, didn't Albert Fish swallow years worth of safety pins and nails? I don't know, Pippadot. Why doesn't the U.S. do that? It comes down to financing. Plain and simple. Why doesn't the U.S. study mass killers and mass shootings and family annihilators? It comes down to money. We don't put money into prevention to stop them. We certainly don't put money into studying them. what studies have been done are been done by the Justice Department, the FBI, and now more recently, in the last like 5 years, they're studying those who are on death row who actually have killed quite a few people. I can't remember what her name is, but she was on the channel Soft White Underbelly, and she was on there. I think it's like a 30-minute interview where she talks about studying serial killers and those on death row. It's amazing. It's a really good interview, but I cannot for the life of me, and I'm sorry, I don't remember what her name is. But question number 17. What was Albert Fish famous for doing with his victims besides torturing them and killing them, of course? The correct answer is B as in boy. He ate them, particularly one little girl, and then he contacted the family about it. The Aussies. But I would have to look into Pippadot if he actually ate safety pins and nails. He was a strange, strange man, that's for damn sure. Maybe they can find some of that missing government money and do a study. I'm sorry for laughing at that. You probably are serious, but no. No, that went to buy hammers and screwdrivers at $5,000 a piece. The $10,000 toilet seats, because we all know that toilet seats cost $10,000 and hammers and screwdrivers cost $5,000 each. But when you look at the General Accounting Office of what the United States government spends, it's ridiculous what we spend money on. And nobody wants to keep them accountable. And it's our money, our tax dollars. All right, question number 18. What middle-aged serial killer claimed the lives of at least 215 people, laughed about it all, and only requested a couple of butterscotch candies in order to speak with law enforcement? Was it A, Bruno Ludke, B, Peter Critton, C, William Burke, or D, Harold Shipman? What middle-aged serial killer claimed the lives of at least 215 people, laughed about it all, and only requested a couple of butterscotch candies in order to speak with law enforcement? Serial Killer LLC. Gold-plated oxys. I cannot fathom her parents reading that filthy letter. Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't want to gross people out too much or get too much into detail about his letter that he wrote to the family after he consumed the little girl. He wrote to the parents basically to tell them that she tasted great. Albert Fish. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, ladies and gentlemen. Sherry, good evening. I hope you're doing well, Sherry. Welcome to tonight's trivia. We are currently on question 18 of 20, but you can always watch the rest of it and rewind. Thank you for joining us tonight. No parent should have to go through that. No kidding, Susan. That'd be horrific. First off, to know that your child has gone before you, and then to find out and read a letter about what that sick individual did with them. I'm stumped again, guessing D. D, says Pippadot. Question 18 of 20. What middle-aged serial killer claimed the lives of at least 215 people, laughed about it, and only requested a couple butterscotch candies in order to speak with law enforcement. I know he was going to be castrated, but disrupted by someone coming. He's sicko. Question number 18. The correct answer is D as in dog. Harold Shipman claimed the lives of at least 215 people. The number very well could be as high as 250, but they know at least 215 of his patients. Dr. Harold Shipman killed at least 215 of his patients by giving them overdoses of different medication. He did not use just one, but he believed truly that he was doing the world and the patient a favor. All right, question number 19. They were all suffering in their own way. I did nothing wrong. I actually helped their suffering end. Who said this as part of their confession? Was it A, Samuel Little, B, Gary Ridgway, C, Hunter S. Thompson, or D, Harold Shipman? Meep answered your question. He used stick, so he did stick pins and stuff like that into himself and swallow. I remember something vaguely about that Pipodot, about his electrocution, you know, about the nails and stuff like that. But I'd have to read up on it more. Well, to say that Albert Fish is probably not in my top, 10 of serial killers that I've read and studied the most about. They were all suffering in their own way. I did nothing wrong. I actually helped their suffering end. Who said this as part of their confession? Oh. Gave himself his own version of a Jacob's ladder. You want to Google that. I highly suggest you don't. But if that's what he did, he gave himself basically a Jacob's ladder. Question number 19 of 20. All right, the correct answer for question 19 is D as in dog. This is part of Dr. Harold Shipman's actual confession. He said he didn't do anything wrong. That he was actually helping the patient. No, he wasn't. But he said that he was helping end their suffering by killing them. He was a GP. Question number 20. What serial killer of 11 confirmed murders of women actually killed 13, but the additional 2 were not confirmed until after his death? Was it A, John Wayne Gacy, B, Albert Del Savo, C, H. Holmes, or D, Jack the Ripper? He was helping himself. Excuse me. What serial killer of 11 confirmed murders of women actually killed 13, but the 2 were not confirmed until after his death. Question 20 of 20. And do not take off after this question. I have more that I want to share with everyone. Question 20 of 20. This man used a ruse that no other serial killer caught before then or after then has used, that I am aware of. His ruse to lure these women away from their situation was that he was a photographer for a fashion magazine and he wanted to take their photos. I think I'm way off, says Pippadot. Susan Weaver, B. It's a guess. Lisa is going to guess A. Question 20 of 20. The correct answer is B, as in boy. This is none other than Albert Del Salvo. Barking Pumpkins at the end there for the B. Okay. We'll come back to that. Cold case, missing persons. The following 2 are people, real live people who are missing. And there have been updates on both of these cases that I bring you this week. Sherry Lynn Molerman, updated on the 17th of this year. Someone knows or has the missing piece to this disappearance. Sherry just didn't walk away from her life. Take a close look at her photos. She vanished on the February 27th, 1989 at 8 p.m. from Fremont, California. At the time of her disappearance, she looked almost like her hair and length of everything was the far right picture. More slender in the face, with her hair at shoulder length. Dark brown black hair at the time of her disappearance. There has been activity in this case, as I said, as of the 17th of January. But they need anyone who lived in and around the Fremont area back then or knew her. Maybe you just knew she may have had a friend or someone that was close. But they know that the pieces are out there. They're close to actually being able to solve this case. They just need someone to reach out and call them. The number is on the screen there. If you are in the state of California, it should be a local. I don't believe it'd be a long distance number, but I don't know anybody that pays long distance rates on a cell phone. You can still call. But if you know anything, please reach out and contact them. Cold case number 2 also has an update. This is Timothy Wayne Davis. Timothy also went by the nicknames Timbo, Dancer, and Tom Thumb. Was last seen in and around the Roseburg, Oregon area. His bank account and retirement checks have gone uncashed from the time of his disappearance. There are very few credible leads as to what may have happened to Timothy Wayne Davis. The last update on his missing person case was on January 17th of 2024, when possible leads were gathered, but that turned out to be false. And I'll give you a little bit of information about that false lead. The false lead was that Timothy Wayne Davis was a homeless man going by the name of Robert Cale and was living in the Los Angeles area. It turned out that this man who was going by the name of, Robert Cale in the Los Angeles area was a felon who has somewhat of a similar look to him, but definitely not Timothy Wayne Davis, whose fingerprints were on file, not from a criminal conviction, but his fingerprints were on file because of a job and that he had to pass a background check on. But Timothy Wayne Davis again had everything going for him at the time of his disappearance, and he vanished without a trace. Now, if you know anything about Timothy Wayne Davis, Timbo, Dancer, or Tom Thumb, as he was known to his friends, he disappeared again from the Roseburg, Oregon area. He has a bank account with a substantial amount of funds available to him, and his retirement checks have gone uncashed since his disappearance. He had a home, he had a car, he had everything. He had a girlfriend at the time as well. He was not depressed, according to his friends and family, and he was not at risk of self-injury. But he vanished anyways, and no one knows where he is gone. Again, he has been missing since June 13th of 2016. No one knows what happened to him. No, missing persons report matches that have been filed that matches, Timothy Wayne Davis. Additionally, the information that they have about him is that his car, his home, everything was found untouched. He did have his wallet with him, with all of his credit cards and debit cards and everything else, and availability to access his own funds. But nothing has been used since June of 2016. Again, if you know anything about Timothy Wayne Davis, you may have known something about the disappearance from Roseburg, Oregon area, please reach out to the number that is on the screen in red there. All right, how did you do tonight on the trivia? This is completely optional to give yourself a letter grade. Some people like to. Did you get 16 to 20 right, 11 to 15, 6 to 10, 1 to 5? Or hey, you can't judge me. I got an E. I am a mountain lion taming expert. Keep in mind, we are only playing for educational purposes. If you found an error on this trivia tonight at all, you can reach me by emailing me at 411nowbusiness, all together, no spaces in that, at gmail.com. If any of these if questions had an error in them. Mountain lion taming expert Rykard. Purple got an A. Gianna Marie, an A as well. You don't have to keep score. You don't even have to give yourself a letter grade. It's completely optional. Some people like to, some people don't. Kitaku got 14. I had to study B for a while. LOL. Well, of the 20 questions in tonight's trivia, I knew 17 of the 20. Not that hard because it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I am what my friends call the Cliff Clavin of serial crimes and serial murders. Meaning, like Cliff Clavin from the TV show Cheers, he knew a little bit about a lot of different subjects. I know a little bit about a lot of different killers. He was the boogeyman. Well, I hope everyone had fun tonight playing trivia. Next week is completely different. It will be all on one subject next week. One subject next week. Your studio is all set up as if there is going to be a press conference, right? I heard that before, right, Cart? I got the POW MIA flag, and then I have the American flag on the other side, like a press conference. It does kind of look that way. But this black that's behind me here is just temporary because that's where the wall used to be that separated the two studios. And it's a work in progress. We're taking the wall out that used to be behind there and making it all just one. So, and when it gets done, it'll be a lot. Well, I mean, this is already a pretty big studio. I think we measured it. It's like 15 feet that way and 26 feet this way. But there's almost the same size of studios on the other side, and there's still a wall there, as you can hear me knocking on it. But it's still there. It's just in pieces right now. We're in the middle of it. I'm waiting for my friend to come back into town so he can, move some electrical outlets and lights, overhead lights. But instead of having two different studios, we're going to have all one studio. Cement shoes. I took a nap and slept through my alarm. Well, that happens. Cement shoes. I hope you had a great weekend. It's all good, cement shoes. We're waiting on you. Sometimes you just have to sleep. I know I did this past week. I'm still getting over this damn flu. Could have used the company. I can't take Benadryl. I used to be able to when I was younger. Can't take it anymore. Makes me too loopy. Doesn't help me sleep. It just makes me loopy. What is witch's candy? Green stash. I don't know. What is witch's candy? I have no idea. Wheel for president. Oh, no way. Not me, sweetheart. I'm not running for any political office ever. No, I have no political ambitions to ever be president or any. I won't even run for school board. I mean, I'll tear them apart, but I won't run for it. Way too much bureaucracy, even in something local like school board. That's the world we live in, though. All they want to do is divide us into different groups and then have us fight within each other. Fight with each other so we don't pay attention to what they're doing. Nobody I know of in political office anywhere that is looking out for the little man. The days of someone going to Washington and doing good for their constituents are gone. Now everybody goes and they retire from politics, even if it's after 4 years, they're richer than they were when they ever went. I don't know much about the Zodiac Killer. Ooh, I've covered the Zodiac Killer, Meep. I have definitely covered the Zodiac Killer on trivia night. I've done at least 2, maybe 3 nights on the Zodiac Killer trivia nights. Zodiac Killer is an interesting Never been caught. They have a good idea who the Zodiac killer may have been, but never been caught. The case of the Zodiac killer is technically still open. That's the problem. They made it with professional career. We were all copying Kitakyu's answers tonight. Kitakyu was a smart one tonight. Use any when it comes to trivia night, I actually suggest use the internet, phone a friend, yell out the window, ask the next person at the Love's truck stop or whoever you need to. Ask someone else if they know the answer. Get them to join in. I truly am. After 288 nights of this trivia, I mean, I get lucky, during the actual trivia night, if I have 20, 25 right in there, that people who are, tuned in to watch it live. And then within the next 8 hours, I'll have hundreds of people who will watch it. Just never seems to match up with other people's times when they have the availability. Testimony solid. If you haven't heard the name, you might want to look into it. I think I will. Green Stash, and thank you. Kitakyu is always well prepared. All right. Speaking of Kitakyu, today is January 21st. So let's see what the serial killer calendar, this day in killer history book, has for January 21st. February. Ooh, look. There's the Bundy burn. All right, January 21st. Derek Todd Lee, November 5th, 1968 through January 21st, 2016. Also known as the Baton Rouge serial killer, was an American serial killer. His killing spree began in 1992 and ended in 2003. And consisted of 7 women. Emmy, in additional, there's another one, Emmy Lou, January 21st, 1934 through October 20th, 2013, was a French bus driver and prime suspect in the disappearance of 7 young women in the department of Lyon, Burgundy. In the late 1970s, in 2000, Louise confessed to their murders. He retracted his confession 1 month later. Additionally, January 21st is Otto Shankar, the 21st of January 1954 through April 27th, 1995. His nickname was the Indian Serial Killer. Again, this is Burn Bundy Burn. You're dead, Ted. That is the artwork for that today, January 21st. And this is from the book Serial Killer Calendar, and you can get that on Amazon. I am in no way affiliated with the author or the actual book itself. Kitakyu told me about it, and I had to go out and get that one as soon as she told me about it. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to end tonight's trivia. On the way out the door, if you would give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed tonight. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. It means all the same, to YouTube and the interactions that happen here within the actual event itself, the live stream. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. But thank you to everyone again for tuning in tonight and playing trivia. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you all again next Sunday. We do these every single Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or same time as 7 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Sorry, still coughing up phlegm from the flu. But everyone, thank you again. Barbecue Teddy and KFC Gacy. It's funny, right, Cart? You stay safe on those roads of America, right, Cart? Especially with the adverse weather that we've been having across the United States. Everyone, till next time, stay safe out there. Bye.